Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be making some low-calorie cocktails. So if you're one of those people that loves a good cocktail but wants to reduce the calorie intake of those cocktails, then I've got the recipes for you. Spring is fast approaching and I couldn't think of anything better than to come up with my top 3 cocktails for spring that are low calorie versions of our favorite drinks. So if you're someone that loves to have a good cocktail but is wanting to be in that guilt-free zone, then you need to watch this video because we're going to be making some phenomenal citrus-inspired cocktails. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so for the first cocktail of tonight, we're going to have a lemon drop martini, and what we want to replicate is that delicious adult lemonade that we typically have when we go out to a bar or a nice restaurant. And typically those drinks have a lot of sugar. They're made with simple syrup, and in order for us to reduce the calories in our drink, we are going to be using the organic light blue agave nectar. I got this at Spritz, and we're only going to use a splash of this to sweeten up our martini. And also we're going to use fresh squeezed lemon to make our drink very delicious and very fresh. And for our vodka, I'm using the Tito's vodka, but you can use whatever vodka you want. And in reality, those are the 3 ingredients of our drink. And so with that, let's get started. I've got my lemon all squeezed, and I did take out some ice to add to my shaker. So we'll start adding some ice into the shaker, get ourselves all prepped up. All right, now what we're gonna wanna do is we're gonna use 2 ounces of vodka, and then we're gonna add 1 ounce of lemon juice. Again, fresh squeezed lemon juice. In order for this to be a great recipe, we've got to be able to have the best ingredients, and fresh beats any lemon concentrate you can get out there. All right, so now we are going to have, again, just a splash. And once you start making your cocktails, I mean, you'll figure out more or less what you want to add, but I would start with a tablespoon and then back into it, or add a little more depending on your sweetness desire. Okay, so that's going to be good for me. So now we're going to close it up, and then we're going to start shaking. You want to give it a good shake. Spring low-cal drinks. We're going to let the shaker settle for a little bit. I'm going to let it rest for just a minute or so. And while that is resting, what I like to do is I pull my martini glass, and I pretty much use one of the lemons to go over the top rim of your glass. Okay? And this is more the presentation of your martini. And so what I've done here is I filled a plate with real sugar. You don't have to eat the sugar on the rim, but it's more for presentation, and it looks very beautiful, like if you were at a bar. So if you're having some cocktails, this is a good idea just to make it look pretty. And so you have a beautiful glass ready for your martini. Now that that is done, what I'm going to do is pour my martini. This is an adult lemonade, guys. It's delicious. I love it. It's one of my favorite spring and summer drinks. All right, let's take a sip. Really good. That is truly delicious. So my last tip for you is to play with the recipe just to make sure that you find it to your liking. And what do I mean by that? Really what you've got to play around with is the sweetness level that you desire. And so again, is just go ahead and squeeze some fresh lemons and do that 1 ounce of lemon and then add enough sweetness in there to your liking, and that's it, guys. That literally is, and just shake it, and that literally is everything, along with the vodka. You can never forget the vodka. But other than that, I mean, that is such a simple and crisp and delicious recipe for a summer drink. So highly recommend it. You guys must try it. If you're trying to keep your calorie intake low, this is definitely a guilt-free cocktail for the spring. We are ready for our second drink of tonight, and we are having skinny margaritas. Who doesn't want a skinny margarita? I definitely do. And so for that, we are going to use oranges and limes. And so the orange is really going to replace that orange liqueur that they typically put in the margaritas, which is very delicious, but it is also high in sugar. And obviously we're going to use some fresh squeezed limes to give it that limey flavor that we all love from the margaritas. And the tequila that we're going to use is the Tradicional, which is the silver Tradicional. And this one is one of our favorite here at my home. And then again, we're going to be using the blue agave and nectar for our sweetener, which will replace the simple sugar that they typically add in the margaritas. So let's get to juicing our Okay, let me just say that with the limes, I'm going to be a little cautious. I don't like to put too much just because I prefer that it's not too acidic or too tart. And so I'm just gonna put maybe about 1/4 of an ounce into my margarita. I'm gonna do 1.5 ounces of the orange juice, and then I'm gonna do 1/4 of an ounce on the lime juice. I'm going to use a splash of that agave nectar to sweeten it up, and we'll get going. So that is 1 full lime. It's about 1/4 of an ounce, and that's all I'm going to use for my margarita. Let's get to it. Splash extra. That's how I count. Cover it up, and we get to shake. And then we are going to add 2 ounces of the silver Tradicional tequila. Woo! It's gonna be a very potent margarita. So it's called a Mexican margarita for a reason. All right, let's shake. If you like your margaritas with salt, then put a little bit of salt in a plate and give it a good roll. Pretty. It's all very natural, very delicious, fresh, great drinks for an evening out in the patio with the husband, with the friend. Cheers. Let me try this. Very nice. The juices of both the orange and the lime really give it a really special flavor. Remember, what we're trying to do here is replicate the flavors of your favorite drinks with a low-calorie version, and by substituting the orange liqueur with natural orange juice, that gives it a very nice fresh flavor, and the lime that they typically add to the other margaritas, you know, sometimes those are not fresh squeezed, but those are concentrated, that, you know, have a lot of preservatives, and yeah, they taste great, but they add a bunch of different things, and they add a ton of sugar. And today we are using this agave nectar that's actually, it's reducing the calorie intake for our drinks. So really it makes it for a special drink that you can still have. If you're trying to lose weight, I think this is a perfect opportunity to have a drink once in a while. I'm not saying that if you're trying to lose weight that that you need to be drinking. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I am trying to say is that you can modify drinks, and you can have a cocktail once in a while that is guiltless, and something like this is very, very special. And with any recipe, all you need to do is play around with the flavors. You've got 4 ingredients. Play with those, make it your own, and you're gonna have a fabulous margarita. So with that, we're gonna move on to our next drink. We are on our 3rd cocktail of the night, and this is actually one of my favorites. And I literally just started playing around with a recipe that I found on the internet, and literally, again, it's just playing with the ingredients to find whatever really works for you. So I'm going to share with you the recipe that I basically came up with, and this is the Skinny Paloma cocktail. And so for this, we are going to be using grapefruit juice. We are going to be using, again, some Tequila Silver Tradicional, and we are going to have the Agave Nectar for our sweet substitute. And there is a surprise ingredient that I'm going to introduce, and it's, it is the Pellegrino Tangerine and Wild Strawberry mineral water. And these I found actually at Costco maybe about a year ago, and I love using these because they don't have any sugar, they're 0 calorie, they're sparkly, and they taste really, really good, and they come in different flavors. And so I add a splash of this to my Paloma cocktail, and it's pretty legit good. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you the recipe, but for that, let's make it and give it a test run. We are going to be adding 1.5 ounces of our freshly squeezed grapefruit juice. Then we are going to add 2 ounces of our tradicional tequila, sorry about that. And now we're going to add our agave nectar and shake. And at this point, I'm going to stop, and I'm going to add a little bit of, again, that tangerine and wild strawberry mineral water, just a tad, and then fill it back up. Again, I don't want to mix the mineral water with the shaker because it's not going to go well. But it mixes beautifully with the flavors of the grapefruit juice, the tequila, the tangerine, the wild strawberry flavors. They're beautiful. So I'm gonna give you a test run. Wow. Guys, this is one of my new favorites. This is so good, so good. I love it. I mean, I love the taste of the grapefruit, the tangerine, the wild strawberries. It's got little bit of that carbonation from the mineral water. Then you have the flavors of the tequila. And then the sugar, the sugar rim. If you're more into that sugary rim, it's delicious. Great drink. For those of you that have stuck around for this portion of the video, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So I'm gonna give you a bonus tip. And this is a great drink that is very simple and fast and low calorie drink if you are just wanting to have a quick drink that you want to go out there, again, go sit out in the patio or enjoy, right before your dinner. I really go to this a lot during the spring and the summer, and so literally you don't need anything else. You don't need to be juicing anything. It's going to be super simple and low calorie. And so literally you just need a glass. You need some ice. So you want to make sure you fill your glass with ice. You are going to want some vodka. Again, Tito's. It's a Texas vodka. So we're going to have one ounce of Tito's. And then remember I told you about the Pellegrino. We're going to just go ahead and fill it up. And for a spritzer, so this is a tangerine and wild strawberry spritzer that you get to enjoy, and trust me, it's delicious and it's very quick. You don't need to worry about anything else. That's nice. It's really nice. Smooth, beautiful flavor. Yeah. So thank you guys for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. If you like this video, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and leave me a comment. Are there any recipes that you have that you'd like to share? I'm so down for any additional recipes that you may have of any low-calorie cocktails that you may want to share. So spring is coming. We all want to be able to enjoy a delicious cocktail without all the guilt. So with that, guys, until next time, I wish you have a stronger and healthier life.